What if Batman faced Yoda? Imagine this. It's the ending of The Dark Knight Rises. The bomb has already been carried out over the bay. The Bat's autopilot locked in just long enough for Bruce to eject before detonation, and for one brief moment, an entire city believes Batman died saving them. He doesn't die. He's thrown clear unconscious, tumbling through a shockwave of heat and light that shouldn't behave the way it does. Instead of hitting water, he hits ground. Wrong ground. Wrong sky. Wrong everything. The bomb's residual energy, tangled with experimental isotopes from the device itself, tears something open that had no business tearing open at all, and Bruce Wayne, presumed dead by the entire city he just saved, wakes up somewhere no city exists. He comes to face down in mud, ears still ringing, twisted trees rising into fog overhead. No bay, no Gotham skyline, just insects and the specific disorientation of a man who just watched himself supposedly die. Bruce forces himself upright, cataloging his own injuries out of pure habit, and that's when he catches movement in the tree line, small, deliberate, watching him closely. Careful, you should be. Wounded, badly, you are. The voice is calm, almost bored, entirely unbothered by a scorched, half-dead stranger crawling out of nowhere. Bruce's hand moves instinctively toward his belt. Stay back. Threaten me, you do not need to. The creature steps fully into view, small, green, leaning on a Gymer stick, eyes carrying sentries behind them. Yoda, I am, and Yanger, wrapped in armor, carrying a great weight, you are. Bruce doesn't trust the read. He trusts even less that it's accurate. What Bruce doesn't know yet is that Yoda has spent years in careful isolation on this world, precisely because things showing up unannounced tend to draw exactly the kind of attention that gets people killed. A man falling out of the sky in the middle of a residual energy surge isn't a curiosity to him. It's a threat vector, possibly an Imperial trap, possibly something worse. Test you. I must. Bruce doesn't like the sound of that. I don't have time for tests. I don't even know where I am. Time you have, whether convenient or not. Without warning, the stick becomes something else entirely, a green blade igniting with a hiss that makes every instinct Bruce owns scream real weapon, already moving toward him. Bruce reacts on pure trained reflex, throwing himself sideways, a grapple line already firing toward an overhanging branch. I'm not your enemy. Prove it then. Fight, or be struck down where you stand. What most people don't fully appreciate about Yoda is that beneath the calm, riddling speech is one of the most lethally efficient combatants in galactic history, proven decades earlier in a duel against Count Dooku that showed size has nothing to do with how devastating he can actually be. Bruce is about to learn that the hard way. It isn't close. Not at first. Bruce throws everything he has, batarangs, smoke pellets, a grapple line meant to yank Yoda off balance, and Yoda deflects, dodges, or simply isn't where the attack lands, moving with a speed that shouldn't be possible for something his size and age. Fast, you are. For a creature with no force, impressive, this is. Yeah, well, I've had practice. Bruce ducks a strike that would have taken his head clean off, rolling through mud, already calculating angles the way he's trained himself to calculate angles for 2 decades straight. He notices something in the pattern of Yoda's strikes, precise, controlled, but never actually lethal when they could easily be. Testing, not killing. Bruce shifts tactics accordingly, stops trying to overpower, and starts trying to outlast, using terrain, shadow, every trick that's kept him alive against opponents far larger than himself. He manages to land a stun charge strike across Yoda's shoulder, staggering him for the first time in the entire fight. Yoda actually looks impressed, breathing harder than he has in a long while. Skill you have, discipline too. Rare that combination is in one so driven by anger. I'm not driven by anger. Yoda deflects a follow-up strike like almost lazily. Lie to me, you may. Lie to yourself, harder it becomes. Neither of them notices the ripple they're causing until it's too late. The combined energy, Bruce's residual bomb isotope signature colliding with the raw disturbance of real combat, sends a pulse through the Force, strong enough to catch exactly the kind of attention Yoda's spent years carefully avoiding. An Imperial probe droid drifts into the clearing mid-fight, already transmitting. Trouble. This changes everything. Bruce, without missing a beat, redirects instantly, treating the droid as the actual threat it now represents rather than continuing the fight that brought them here. Focus on that. We settle this after. For the first time, They're not fighting each other. Bruce disables the droid's sensor array with a precisely thrown batarang, while Yoda severs its stabilizer legs with a single clean strike, dropping it into the mud before it can finish its transmission. Silence after, both of them breathing hard, adrenaline from two completely different fights bleeding into one shared moment. Wasted, this was, Yoda says finally, retracting his blade, studying Bruce with something that's shifted from suspicion into genuine curiosity. Fighting each other when the real threat we should have seen sooner. Bruce, catching his breath, doesn't disagree. You attacked first. Tested, I did. Difference, small, I admit, in the moment. A pause, something almost like dry humor in it. Passed the test, though. You have. Barely. I don't need your approval. No. Need it, you do not. Earned it, though, you have regardless. It's an odd thing to hear from someone who tried to take his head off 10 minutes earlier, but Bruce, despite everything, finds himself believing it. They don't become allies exactly. Not in the short time left before the residual rift Bruce arrived through starts to destabilize again, but something like mutual respect settles between them, hard-won and unlikely. This anger you carry, Yoda says, as Bruce finds the fading edge of the tear. Where you go now, you might consider carrying it still or setting it down. Bruce doesn't answer right away. Old habits. For someone who tried to kill me in the first 5 minutes, you've got a lot of advice. Tried to kill you, I did not. Tried to know you, I did. Fighting, simply, was the fastest way. Bruce almost smiles at that, despite everything. He steps toward the shimmering tear, pausing at the edge. If I ever end up back here, try the conversation first next time. No promises I make. There's the ghost of something like amusement in it. He steps through, and the rift seals cleanly behind him. No chaos, no aftershock. Yoda stands alone in the ruined clearing for a long moment, studying the space where the tear had been, before turning back toward his hut. Interesting, that one was. Cross paths again, our fates may. Bruce Wayne came out of an explosion that was supposed to kill him and ended up in a fight he never expected, against an opponent he never could have prepared for. He left with no new gadgets, no new allies waiting for him back home, just a strange, unlikely respect from perhaps the last being in any universe anyone would expect to earn it from. This is what would have happened if Batman faced Yoda. But what do you think would happen if Supergirl fought General Grievous?